Hello.
Hello.
It is time for another podcast
Actually. Yes.
with scuffed news.
Uh, yes. We have scuffed news. We have fucked up news. We have
It includes
probably more other
high
stuff.
fuel prices, lanes, and
Our themes
incompetence.
today: fuel, planes, Minecraft.
And don't forget incompetence.
Exactly. And pettiness, honestly. Political pettiness.
Yes, but what shall we start with?
Uh, oh, I don't know what you want to talk about. But I suppose I have something real that we can go over real quick.
And then
So, our new president, right? Robieta.
yes.
Yeah, prime minister, whatever. He is going to meet with Mr. Donald Trump.
Yes.
Geert Wilders, you know what he
Yeah.
did?
No, but probably
He
knowing him probably something weird.
he, he took a screenshot of an old tweet by Robieta, which was just after the elections in America, where Robieta, our prime minister, he uh, expressed concern and what do you call it, criticism that he found Trump to be too dangerous to be a president, basically, right? Like he was like kind of
The
criticizing
basic
Trump.
stuff.
He was criticizing Trump, and now Wilders posted a screenshot of that, adding like on Twitter
Yeah.
with like a an ad to Trump himself, being like, "Hey, this is what this guy said about you," which just like, what the fuck, man? Why are you this petty?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It to me, it's confirms that again he's just a fucking sad person, man.
But on topic of our government, you know how we've been dealing with incredibly high fuel prices over the last
Oh
couple of
yeah, yeah.
weeks?
That's not their problem yet, apparently.
Well, they're gonna talk about it.
Oh really? Oh well, that's already an update from what I heard.
They're going to talk about it if measures are necessary. In the meantime, the Netherlands is currently the most expensive in
Of
Europe
course we are.
for fuel.
Of course we are.
So we are the most expensive to drive a car, fuel wise. And our government isn't like saying, all right, we should lower the tax on it to, help the people. No, they're just like, maybe we should think about it.
Yeah.
Which frustrates me because there are multiple people, there are households that are reliant on it. And they might not have enough money to go, to make it through the month, because if fuel suddenly becomes 40 cents per liter more expensive, then then that's going, even my, like, the reason I'm so upset about it as well is because my wallet, like, sure, it's a problem, but it's even more of a problem when your own wallet gets hit. That's when you really start to, get annoyed.
I bike to work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bike 1.5 hours to work.
For the money, Jules. For the money.
Public transit is even faster than that.
Well, I would
It's,
hope so. Yeah.
it's faster to take 2 trains than it is to actually.
Take a fed bike.
take a bite. Well, at this point, it is a fact that I have my right arm that could be a potential obstacle, but otherwise a motorcycle might actually be a better option. They're better on fuel, and you're still going at high speeds. Problem is,
you can skip. What's it called? Like,
yeah, you can split
skip the
traffic.
line, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, you can lane split.
Yeah.
Of course, there are certain laws about it. I know that if you have like a 3-lane highway, that you're only allowed to split the 2 left lanes. Basically, the middle and the left one.
I just realized something.
What?
So, if the police has to like chase somebody, right, and they're in a car, then they can like hit them, you know, like where they like hit the back of the car. They can do like spikes on the road and shit.
Yeah.
You can't do that if the person's on a motorcycle. So what do you do then?
No, you still can do it. There will just be severe consequences.
I don't think they're allowed to. I would assume.
Well, spike strips are generally could potentially actually be a death sentence for the biker because.
Yes. Well, what about hitting them in the back, sure?
Yes. The best way would just to wait them out.
Yeah, I guess.
Or track them with a helicopter.
That's a great thought I had. Yeah.
And then wait till they're.
It was just a random thought I had. Anyway, back to the topic. I don't know if there's more to say about
but
it.
like, our government is just getting more and more incompetent.
Yeah.
They're just, with the whole energy crisis that we are potentially facing, you know, they've been advised to, you know, do a little bit of changes, like, you know, advise people to work from home, to take public transit, you know, like use less oil, you know, all that stuff. And they were just like, nah, we'll be fine. It's like it's almost like they're intentionally putting us in an energy crisis. And that bothers me a lot because the signs are there. You have an agency specifically designed to advise you on this stuff. And they advise you to, you know, take measures to prevent a shortage on energy. And they're just like, we're rich. We're politicians. We don't have to listen to that. It is also not a surprise to me that most of the ministers that are, you know, responsible for energy and stuff are from VVD. That party is, to me at least now, known for stalling.
Yeah.
Like, they just
they kind of are.
stall. They did that during the elections. They're doing it again. They just don't know when to quit.
Not just them, though, to be fair.
Yeah, there are multiple political parties that are doing it, but still. I mean, politicians should be there for the people, right? To support them.
Yes, kind of, I guess. If you voted for them.
Not to, you know, delay and just basically wait out the next 4 years, so then we have the next elections and they can, you know, leave all the trouble to them instead of. But that doesn't really work now, does it? if you do that tactic of leaving everything for the next elections, they are eventually going to run into the problem of you getting elected again.
So
Because of course you want to stay within the government, you want to be re-elected. But how can you do it? But
so
if you keep
a bit
stretching it,
ago, a couple of years ago now, there was this whole, so okay, we need to like with the EU, we made plans in regards to like carbon emissions, right?
yeah,
And every country had to come with a plan to fix it. And the Netherlands, I don't remember his name. I remember what he looks like.
hmm,
Uh, but a Dutch politician came with an idea to basically his plan was that right now we can do whatever we want so long as we promise to lower emissions later, which unsurprisingly did not work. Eventually, the judge had to step in and be like, hey, we're not doing this. And that is actually also why a couple of years ago we suddenly had to shut down everything because the Dutch government had been like, especially like like the construction industry,
yeah.
because the Dutch government had started so many projects to like build things because they were like, we'll fix it later, which no, that's just not not gonna happen. So then suddenly they had to like stop
Procrastination.
everything, which is a problem we're still dealing with today. And I'm pretty sure that politician that came up with that idea was from the VVD.
Hmm.
You know what's even stupider?
Hmm.
When he was asked about it, about that plan that he came up with, he said that he didn't want to be interviewed on that because he'd have to take time to research it, which he didn't have.
So
This
wait,
man, let me repeat that, this man needed time to research his own fucking plan.
that is just straight up special. Like, hold on, I need to do
Yeah.
research on my own stuff.
Mhm.
Wait, which party did Faber come from again? You know, our
What do you mean?
Minister of Migration who said that migration wasn't part of her job description. Yeah, okay.
How did you forget that?
Why would I
Did you see
remember
actually?
that?
Did you see a little while ago when she had this whole thing, in the cabinet, right? She was gonna present her plans and shit or whatever. I don't know exactly, like a motion, I guess. And she had it all like written down. And eventually, so she presented her stuff, and then eventually, the what do you call it? The the person that you like speak to if you're a politician, like you speak to
Yeah.
the like one guy. I don't know his name. I don't know what you call that. Or I do know what I call it, but I don't know what you call it in English. But like, you know what I mean? Like they talk to this one person, and that person also decides who gets to talk next and all that.
Yeah. Basically, sort of the teacher of the
The
bunch,
referee.
the actual adult.
So that person, that he was like, okay, your turn's over, your time's up, on to the next person. And she was like, well, but I'm not done yet. And he was like, well, you have a time limit. And she was like, but I'm not done yet. And he was like, no, you have a time limit and you're out of time. Next person. And the look on her face, she looked like a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like she was just like looking around at her papers and it was like it was so dumb, and it just shows how fucking incompetent she is as a fucking politician. It's like, you know this shit. You've worked here for at least 4 years. Like, I don't know exactly when she started, but
It some politicians just don't understand their stuff,
I guess so.
which is weird that they're, you know, politicians and in their field. Like at that point they shouldn't be, yet they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious what our government is going to do.
Yeah.
Are they actually going to lower fuel prices? Or are they just going to say, deal with it, and if you're poor, big whoops, go be homeless? I mean, the housing market.
Still illegal.
But I think they recently made it illegal to be here illegally.
Well, duh. Wait, yeah, I think I heard this.
Yeah, it only happened like
I think I
last
heard this, 'cause
year.
it was just like, wait, it wasn't?
It's like, wait, it was legal to be here illegally. I don't think I ever read a dictionary when making those laws. Like,
or was that just one of those dumb motions that they try to like get more people to follow them?
I don't know.
Regardless.
But like, I don't know.
But no, like I know in the Victorian era, they at some point made it illegal to be poor.
Hmm.
They did have different classes in that. You know, it was like differentiated between like people that did want to work but just didn't have a job, versus people that didn't want to work.
Yeah, like there's
They would go to like different workhouses.
there is a there is a difference indeed between people that actually are motivated to, you know,
Yeah.
work and provide, but just don't have a job and just have very shitty finance. Because being homeless doesn't necessarily mean that it's caused by an addiction or other stuff, like alcohol, drugs, that stuff. It could also be caused by just financial misfortune. You can have a couple of bad weeks, and it can ruin you financially. And then it's your job. I mean, your own job to actually solve it.
Yeah.
Like,
so back then they had workhouses, and it was like you were just sent to a workhouse. And if you did want to work, then you went to a workhouse that was supposed to be better. It wasn't always, but it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then if you didn't want to work, or you were just a criminal, then it would be less pleasant. This whole thing actually became a problem because, as I said, like it was supposed to be better, but because they eventually were like really full, the quality control kind of went down and shit. And it was just horrible, to the point that there were rat droppings in the food, which it's not great. But they would always pretend that everything was fine, and if someone came to check on it, right, they would then they would quickly get some good ingredients to make good food.
Yeah, but only do that after you, like, if there's an inspection coming.
Yes. So at some point, I don't remember who this was, but he was like an important person in the city, went to one of these workhouses unprompted and was like, I want to inspect the food. Because of course word did get out, because some people would eventually be released from these workhouses, right? Like if they had earned enough there, then they could start an actual life, right? That was the thing. So word did get out, and he went in there, demanded to see the food, and they insisted it was fine, even though this guy saw the fucking poop in the food. They insisted it was fine, and he said, okay. He took one of the workers' bowls, and he said, "You eat it then." And they said, "No, no, no, it's for the workers." And he said, "If you don't eat the food that you made." I'm shutting this whole operation down.
Yeah.
W person. I don't remember who it was. I just know he was an important person. Anyway.
Turns out taking good care of your workers is necessary.
Yes. But sidetrack over.
Yes.
Where were we?
I do have something to talk about, which is slightly sad news. Because it does involve 2 casualties.
Ooh.
At an airport. I think yesterday or the day before. No, it was yesterday, yeah. On Monday. A airplane collided with a fire truck. The fire truck was responding to a previous accident, a previous incident. Bit of a situation with another plane that had a weird smell, and there were warning lights, so they were responding to that. They asked the air traffic controller for permission to cross the runway. They got permission. And then at the last second, you could hear the audio where the air traffic controller says that they have to stop. And then there's just the crash. And sadly, the 2 pilots died from the impact. At first, they said the impact was like 39 kilometers per hour. But if you actually... But look, I've seen images of it, and it looks way worse than a simple 30 kilometer per hour, like 40 kilometer per hour hit. The entire front of the plane is basically fallen off. That doesn't happen at 40 kilometers per hour.
No, that was a fast 40 kilometers an hour.
At that point, you would be close to 40 meters per second.
Maybe they misspelled.
Potential 40 knots. No. I think if I've seen them speed, it might have been like 180 kilometers per hour, which is way faster. But yeah. I think it was LaGuardia Airport that was where it happened. Airport was shut down for a while. You know, emergency services.
Obviously.
Yeah, they should, in case it happened again. That would be like the air traffic controller did actually say it right after, like, that he messed up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Sure, you can ask your question. Maybe we'll continue the topic first, though.
Well, like, the air traffic controller did say he messed up. Like, he knew he made the mistake. Which makes me think that he is going to be haunted by this decision the rest of his life. Which is quite sad. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some news that I picked up on at work. I also realized that I have to upload this podcast pretty much directly after this because I won't have Saturday morning to do it.
You have. So it's Tuesday.
I know, but tomorrow is Wednesday, means I'm gonna stream. Then the day after that's Thursday, I'm gonna stream as well
Joe,
because this weekend.
how is this different from any other week?
Well, usually I'd have Saturday morning, to do it, or Friday evening to do it.
Usually you upload immediately.
However, including making the thumbnail as well. However,
Yeah, okay.
on Saturday I'm going to be, not home. I'm going to leave Friday afternoon, so I won't be home for most of the weekend. Maybe like Sunday evening. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to do another topic before I ask the question?
Oh, what topics have we had? Because I don't know.
High fuel
Will there
prices,
be
incompetent
petty-
governments.
Oh, I would have wanted to be on that one.
Oh.
Better luck next week.
Fair enough.
So
I'm sure
I
it will
do
come
have
up again.
I do have another bit of news, but I think that might be. I don't know how long we would spend on it because it's pretty fucked up.
Well, then we better start.
Uh-huh.
So, do you want to do your question first, or do you want to talk about some pretty fucked up news regarding?
I have some
Minecraft?
good news, actually.
What?
Tom Scott is back,
And what?
apparently.
I did see a video of it where he raced across London.
Oh, well, apparently he's traveling around England. And making videos again.
That's good.
Anyway, Jim is like, who is that?
Yes, yes, I have no idea.
He made for a while. He
If
made
you hadn't asked, I would fully pretend that I know who that is.
well. He made daily videos for a while
for like 10 years, I believe.
Damn,
about random topics.
that is pretty impressive.
But when was it? It wasn't
2 years ago.
2024, where he basically
Yeah.
made a video announcing that he would be ending that series.
I mean, if he kept it up that long, that's really impressive.
Yes. But it was really sad to see that series finish in such a way. But better than,
Like,
having
better in
milk
that way
drop.
than with him just being
Well,
overworked and dropping dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He stopped because, well, he was satisfied with what he achieved. So he wanted to do something else. Sounds like a pretty good way to end it.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, he has already been in a game of jet lag, which I don't remember what it was. Basically, just like traveling something along Europe, whereas you just have a couple of teams traveling, doing challenges for points and other stuff. Jet lag, it's a fun channel to watch. They do a bunch of challenges, like playing hide and seek across the UK. They did Japan.
I think I have heard of
They hit Japan?
No, they played hide and
What?
seek in Japan, which means
Japan
they
is
hid.
gont, people.
They hid inside
They
of
hit
Japan. We gotta find it.
We can no longer find it.
Shit.
It's gone for a while now, but We hoped we would find it again, but well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we will.
No, but it's a fun channel to watch. Jetlag. They have a bunch of fun challenges, and I might personally be playing some at some point. Some hide and seek, because you can. They have like cards. The way it works is somebody hides, somebody seeks. You can ask questions.
Whoa.
To, you know, get a little bit of a hint about where they are, but asking those questions.
I've never heard about that before. Can you explain that concept? I don't know it.
Asking a question can give the hider a, like, they can pull cards, which can either be a time bonus, a veto, so you can veto the question, or a curse to slow the seekers down, to buy you more time, because the more questions you ask, the more you know where they are. That also means that you're going to get there quicker. However, that also means that the hider gets a lot more cards, which means they can slow you down easier, which can in the end cost you more time. Meaning it is actually worth to sort of doubt and think, do I really need to ask the question here? Or is it okay if I take a gamble? It's a really fun challenge. It does require friends, so...
Aw, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's cancelled.
We just can't do that. Yeah, no. It's completely done now.
Yeah, fun game to play.
But
Yeah, shall we move on to the fucked up news then?
okay, so hold on. I need to very quickly look up the person's name because I think it's important. Because I forget the name because I'm bad at remembering names. But
Oh,
there has been some commerce, shall we say, some
Substances.
no. Where is it? I should just go to my history to see where it was.
What is the general topic? So we
Minecraft,
Minecraft.
but not Minecraft itself. Specifically, a Minecraft content creator.
Please don't tell me there are kids involved.
No, this time there aren't. But
That's a nice change of pace.
Marlo.
Oh no.
Me
Doesn't-
neither, but
Doesn't ring a
she
bell.
She was a player who was ranked at the top of every single what do you call it? Like basically in Minecraft PvP, right? You have like multiple ways of doing that. There's like multiple different sort of, I guess, modes almost.
Yeah,
right,
multiple
that people
multiple categories.
yes. She was number 1 in every single one. Which, of course, led... Well, first up, she came out of nowhere. Like, she was just suddenly there and on top. She
Potentially
beat one
suspicious.
she beat one of the most popular and best Minecraft players, Clown Pierce, 100-0
Hmm.
in PvP.
That sounds believable.
So of
Totally
course
not suspicious.
there was a lot of scrutiny over this, and then, you know, people being like, she must be cheating.
Yes.
At this, she would say, you just hate women, because there's like there's not that many women in Minecraft PvP, especially like high ranking.
Right, and yeah, that does seem like the only logical solution here. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay, so what is absolutely awful about this is what has recently come out about this. because it turns out one of the accusations about her was completely true. Well, I guess multiple, because yes, she was also fucking cheating. But
Big reveal.
the other one is that there were people that said that she is not a woman, that she was in fact a man, and that this was an alt account of someone who already was somewhat high a couple of years back. I think his name was like Mad Mario or something like that. And it turns out that those people were correct. But the way this came out is actually like the most fucked up thing ever. Because the way it came out is that basically this person, I'm gonna call him Mario because that's what he went by, right? That was like his other account, like his first account, I suppose. He had a conversation about his plan to get famous with somebody, and this person has leaked that whole plan through like all the DMs that they had, and the whole plan literally was to, you know, pretend to be a woman, cheat, get on top to get attention, then, you know, act as if like it was just misogyny that people questioned her, which it wasn't, but you know, so to get more attention, ban anybody who would, you know, criticize this persona, I guess, criticize hello. And then it even went beyond this to get leadership over the website that hosts the tier list that, like, you know, that like it basically keeps track of people's PvP scores, kind of, right? And then she was like on top of all of that, or I guess he, to get ownership over that website, then eventually sort of give in and give up that ownership. Literally all of this was planned out from the start, which is like just the most insane thing.
What kind of super villain
fucked up
bullshit?
We've not gotten to the most fucked up part yet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Joel, just be patient, man. Come on.
So, also, and actually another way that it came out, by the way, is that he obviously used the voice changer to make his voice sound like a woman, and, well, it was found out. But, he would then, I don't think this actually ended up happening, but we know from these DMs that he fully planned this out. Be on a phone call with friends of this persona, right, of this Mellow, and also a couple of other content creators, commit suicide on the call, not actually, but like fake his death, right? Or I guess fake this persona's death.
That seems like a reasonable thing.
And he had like a full-on plan on how to do this and make it believable and everything.
This is like just when you think it couldn't get worse.
It might have gotten worse.
It got worse.
Yeah, there's like a lot of detail that I'm leaving out here because, well, one, I don't remember it all because I found out about this today, and there's a lot. But it's just like, how do you even come up with it? Why are you this obsessed with getting online attention that you would fucking fake a suicide or consider doing that? Because I guess it didn't end up happening because it was found out this quickly. But, well, not this quickly. It actually has been going on for years. But
like,
I don't know.
My question is, then who was responsible for finding it? Some meddling kids?
No, Well, kind of, because again, there was criticism over this for a long ass time. They would just like ban all the criticism from the Discord. Um, but somebody also found it out because they like looked at. There was some overlap between this Mellow account and the. I don't know the exact name. It was something with Mario. I think it was something like Mad Mario or Maniac Mario or something like that. There was some overlap between those two accounts. Like, oh, at some point they were like, I think one thing that happened was like, the one account was like trying to cheat, using like a cheated Minecraft client, right?
Yeah.
And then got banned, and then the other account made a video on that same client and how it like worked and how it didn't work and all that. So stuff like that is how people found out.
Just the same topics.
Yeah, and also, at some point someone asked like, "Hey, can you just like say a couple words for me to confirm you're a woman?" And then one of the things is like do re mi fa sol la si do, like the music.
Yeah.
No, that was refused, and the couple words that they didn't refuse sounded extremely robotic.
Like a voice changer.
Yeah, well, apparently he had a full-ass AI model trained.
Curious.
So, yeah. But I think especially the suicide bit is just fucked up. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Definitely a little strange, shall we say.
That's not something you generally joke around about. It's more something that, that's always taken seriously because it is usually an actual threat to someone's life. So joking about it is generally not really appreciated all that much.
Generally speaking.
I mean, there are scenarios where some people joke, where if you're among friends and you make a joke about it,
That's different.
some people see it as funny.
I don't know if that's any better, but it is at least different.
It is different, but it's generally more in a more, familiar setting. That you're among friends, those friends know you, and if they know that that even though you're making a joke about it, that they know that it just remains a joke, that you're not actually going to follow through, then it's an entirely different situation than even if you're friends, but if you know that person will actually do it, and then they joke about it, then it's actually serious. It depends on the character you're talking about.
The character, why are we talking as if it's fictional?
It depends on the person. Some
Be great if it is, but
yeah, you can just respawn.
Yeah, Oh, I thought you meant the situation.
No, like if it's someone that you know that they'll do it, then take it seriously and help them every way you can and that they want or that they need. But if you know that they're perfectly fine, you have to know they're perfectly fine, because I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet about how people with depression don't look depressed. Basically, they're not sad 24/7.
No.
And then all of a sudden they end it. And everybody's surprised. Because he didn't look sad. But you can look perfectly happy and still be depressed. So it's better to ask people how they're doing. You know, make sure that everybody has someone that they can talk to, vent a little bit, keep themselves sane, especially in these times. Because these times are not easy. So having someone to help you keep sane or to, joke around with is valuable. Especially the friends you could just stay in a Discord call with till like 3 a.m. and then regret it the next day. Because 3 a.m. was apparently still a tad bit too late.
Were you guys on to 3 a.m. yesterday?
Me and Quentin.
Well, I wasn't.
We're on
You and Quint.
till like 3.
That actually makes more sense.
Mainly playing Beam.
Jim doesn't really do that usually.
No.
Most of the time.
Maybe on a rare occasion.
Unless he has an anime that he really wants to watch. Unless it's Berserk, basically.
If I'm free the next day, then I'm
Yeah.
alright.
That as well.
Yeah, then that's different. But if you have to wake up at like, I don't know, 6:30. Then it's a different story. Like today, I basically slept for 3 hours.
Right.
How are you here right now?
I don't know if he is.
And
He also has an AI clone of himself.
that would actually be kind of nice because then that clone can do all my work while I just spend the rest of the day doing nothing.
Anyway,
That's what AI should be used for.
should we move on to the next topic if we have one? You have your question, I guess.
I have your question because I thought about this yesterday on the way back from work. After working
Actually-
a 9-hour shift, basically. Like I worked for 9 hours.
Before you ask it, can I ask how you got to this? Because usually this is a me thing.
Well, I said I was driving home from work after working 9 hours, which is already an indication of my brain is going to be a bit cooked. And I don't know how, but my brain suddenly thought about, it suddenly popped up in my head. And that question is, especially relevant to you, Joran. How detailed is God's plan? Because, from what I understand,
Oh, yeah, no, that's an interesting topic of debate. Yes.
from what I
So
understand,
my answer when he asked this a little like an hour ago or something.
yeah, like right before we
was
started
like-
recording, as like
I was
preparation.
like, don't know.
But I was wondering
No.
if you have the
If
God is
if
like a
we
plan
know
for
everything, no, that'd be a little too convenient, I guess.
yeah, but God is like a plan for everyone, right?
Spoilers.
But if you have
Spoiler alert.
if you have if that plan is incredibly detailed, are all your actions in your life already dictated, or
You're basically asking, do you actually have free will? Is what you're referring to.
I think I asked this exact question before.
basically?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you did, but
I
seems
think
like
I
a
did.
question you would ask. Yeah.
I think I did, but it was like a while ago.
Um. Short answer: no. You do still have free will. it. Okay, so it's kind of like asking, if you write a program, do you know what it's gonna do? Yeah, kinda. You
Wait,
can
so
expect.
we're AI.
It depends on your skill. It is entirely dependent
Well,
on skill, because I can
yeah, okay.
read code, but I
Presuming
can't
you have
write it.
perfect skill,
Then you know what it's
uh,
gonna do.
yes. So you have that logic. The other one is God is well, does not exist within time as we know it. So you could say, yeah, he knows what we're gonna do, but for him, it's not like we're something we're gonna do. It is happened and hasn't happened. So there's that explanation.
Wait, like a multiverse?
uh, like how like a multiverse?
It has happened and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, because there is no passage of time. If
Oh,
you
What
like
take
would
that.
away
Oh,
the
I thought
if
you meant as in some in one version you did do something, and in the other you didn't.
what?
um
How would that movie look like?
um, I don't know. I haven't watched Tenet yet. I think that was
yeah,
about that. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, kinda isn't, yeah, kind of. That's more like, yeah, actually it is.
What's that other movie? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Is that a movie?
I don't know. There
That's a
is that like
sentence.
one what is his name? A Nicolas Cage movie where he like sees in the future like 2 minutes or something.
That's
That's also
helpful.
interesting. It, yeah, actually, kinda in his situations, yes.
It is sort of situational, isn't it?
So the situation is they go in storming to kill terrorists, and he knows where they are and where they're gonna shoot from because, well, he has already seen them shooting. So yes, in that case, it's
There's a
advantageous.
there's a Tom Cruise movie. I've not seen the full movie, but I would be interested in it. Where they have like a machine that can see the future, and they use it to like arrest people before they've committed a crime. And but then the question kind of becomes,
Did they
is
actually
that
commit the
valid?
crime?
Like, is that valid? Were they actually gonna do that?
I mean, if they know they're going to be arrested for it, you wouldn't commit the crime.
Well, no,
Because
no, no. The police uses it to like.
yeah, but if the criminal knows that the police uses that technology,
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think you understand human nature then, because sometimes you do something impulsive.
yes.
What? Since when?
Since the start.
Yeah, maybe.
Since the
Um,
dawn of man.
Including in the Bible, Eve eating that fruit, man. If she had just thought about it.
And she knew the consequences. Wait, didn't she know the consequences?
no.
um, no.
Um,
She probably did after.
somewhat. Well,
Well, of
no, I
course.
don't think so.
Of course she knew after.
No, I mean as in that
Well,
she ate
yeah.
it and then it was like revealed and then it actually happened.
Well, she was told not to, but not specifically why. Well, maybe they were because they knew it was the tree of good and evil, so they knew, but I don't think they understood.
Because that would
No,
be
that
I
was
think
the
a.
that's the
thing.
best way
That
to put
was
it.
that was the thing, right? It was like they wanted to be like God.
Yes.
That's a bit of a thing, right? Saying you can't do something and then not explaining why is a big mistake. If you
Yes.
explain why, a lot more people are like, alright, I'm not gonna do it because those are the consequences. Or they might
Yes.
do it because, they know the consequences and they are willing to put up with it.
The story of like Pandora is like exactly the same. Like it's
Like, do not open the box.
it's not a box, it's a face. The box, fun fact, the box was a mistranslation by a French historian. But because of that, everyone now believes it was a box, but no, Pandora got a phase.
Ah. Yeah. Consequences are a thing. Like, the easiest one I could think of is you drove above the speed limit, you get a fine. Those are consequences.
When will you learn?
Your actions have consequences. Yeah, some people don't. Also, I want to complain about drivers again.
Oh no.
Wait, are we done with the God's plan topic that quickly?
Well, considering...
That depends on if Jules has more questions.
Not really.
Clearly not as thoughtful as me then.
No.
Depends on if Jim have any more questions.
Well,
But
we
like-
already talked about this a while ago. I remember now.
I was driving home from work, you know, because I do want to get
I
home.
don't remember the conclusion of that at all, but yes.
Pretty much the same, honestly.
And
Yeah.
Without the multiverse stuff, though.
got into the multiverse. But like,
I mean, yeah, it could be possible, I guess.
I drive over
Seems unlikely.
a
So
road.
somewhere out there, Eden is still fine.
That seems more unlikely than there actually being a multiverse.
No, I mean, like, there is a multiverse, and in the multiverse,
Well, actually,
in one version, Eve did
depends.
not eat the fruit.
How high is the chance that she's deceived by the snake? Because if it's a 50-50, then half of them are fine.
But
I mean, I guess
also,
the snake could try again on Adam.
True.
if there's a
Then
multiverse,
still a quarter should be fine.
but you're forgetting one thing. Because it's a multiverse, there's also a multiverse where the apple doesn't have any consequences.
Joe. It's not an apple. It's a fruit.
A fruit.
We don't know. I
That
don't
the
think.
that
No,
the
it
fruit
is usually represented with an apple, but it's
doesn't have consequences, meaning that the eating of the fruit doesn't do anything.
God pulled a prank and put it in a different tree.
Basically.
They misplaced the spotlight.
Yes.
Yeah.
They moved it one
Nobody
tree
will
over.
understand it, but I do not care.
People go watch the Monkey King animated movie. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Genuinely, that movie was better than I thought it would be.
It was a fun movie, yeah.
I especially appreciate that they did not bring back the joke where he like dries out like the dragon.
Yeah.
Because I fully expected that to just be a thing the whole movie, but no, it was just the one bit.
Yeah.
They made a bit out of it and then kept it at that one
Yes.
thing.
Yes, I liked it. As like a simpler, quicker version of the story, I like it.
Yeah. As I was saying, I was driving home. And I'm driving along a road that has an 80 km/h speed limit. And a bit in front of me, a taxi van. You know, taxis here have to have a blue license plate, so if you see a blue license plate, you should already watch out. If it's a van, you should watch out. If it's a combination, just steer clear. This one
Why?
came to pretty much a full stop and then turned off the road because there were houses on the side. Because it's a little more of a rural area. It's a little bit, it's an 80 road with a bunch of like farms next to it, pretty much. Yeah, that. For some reason, it got me really worked up because, well, You're causing a very dangerous situation for no reason. Only because you don't know where you're going. You're driving a taxi, you're supposed to know where you're going. You're supposed. You can have sat nav. You can use Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, any other navigational service that works. It doesn't matter as long as it brings you to your destination. Which in this scenario, apparently, I think it did. Otherwise, it would be very concerning. So basically, I'm like arrives at someone's house and then it being the wrong place, meaning they get to go back onto the 80 road to continue the drive, but it was frustrating. And also, I fear that my car likes expensive fuel now.
What?
Because I recently put the more expensive fuel in, which it's crazy expensive. We're talking about like almost €3 a liter. That is, in fuel terms, expensive. Especially here in the Netherlands, where we are literally the most expensive in Europe. And so far, my fuel tank has barely gone down, and I've almost driven. I think I've driven over 100 kilometers. Meaning I might have to actually do a calculation with the fuel price of E98, or like the 98 and the 95, to figure out if paying more gives me the better fuel economy that I need to save money in the long run.
Can any car run on 98?
You'd have to look into it, but it will run. It might run worse, it might run better. It all depends on the tuning.
That's the thing. I know that usually like higher end engines can use it, but that can be a problem because it's not available everywhere.
Yeah, so it's
like sometimes you can't. Like I know that some engines need 98.
Yeah, they need, because they are basically built around the fuel.
Yeah.
But your normal car, like the average car can handle. Usually it says 95. It says to put 95 in it anyway. Like your car will have the. If you open up the fuel filler cap, usually it's on the inside there, where it's either in the door, or like somewhere on the car. It usually says, "Put this type of fuel in there," and then you do that. But sometimes it might be beneficial for your engine to put 98 into it. And apparently my car really likes that. So far. So I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on it. In case it actually is way better and I do the calculation and it turns out it's cheaper to fill it with more expensive fuel. It sounds weird to say. You pay more to pay less.
it's Doug Hudson all over again.
Yes. In order to turn left, turn right. It's called drifting. Yeah, that's pretty much. Do we have, I should take a look at the news actually. Hmm. I did see on the news earlier. I think someone near you, near your place, showed on. During a kid's bike exam, because of course it's Netherlands, we have a bike exam where you basically learn how to do some cycling. Not learning. Usually you already know it, and it's just a sort of measuring to see how far you are. But during that, they encountered.
Legally, we don't know though, so
Yeah, legally
don't tell
they.
the government, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, they encountered a wolf.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently they are around that area.
Just like me, they also found a wolf. Interesting.
It did nothing, but it was still. You know, you have a bunch of small children on bicycles. That does mean you have to actually be careful. Because you don't accidentally having a kid turn into a nice meal deal. Now I miss those meal deals.
Wolves usually don't attack humans.
The UK really,
speaking, anyway.
the UK really has better meal deals than we do. It's just a lot nicer. You can get it's maybe a bit on the expensive side, but you can get like a decent sandwich, like a drink and a snack for like £5. That's a deal. Of course, you have places that are more expensive, you have places that are less expensive. But meal deals, especially if you're on vacation, are a great way to start. But let me check the news. Hopefully they don't get blown up in the meantime. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah. What about the Trump and Iran so-called talks that apparently happened?
Oh yeah. Well, no, they did not happen.
Well,
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We don't
Trump
actually really
claims
know.
they did. Iran claims they didn't. And I hate to say it, but I'm more inclined to believe Iran today.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Which I don't know how to feel about that, I'm gonna be honest.
We also have
yeah, me
a
neither.
also, there's been a lot of drama regarding a fertility clinic where a doctor apparently used his own sperm of.
Did we not already talk about this?
Yeah, but there's more that has come out recently.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
the fact that they got stuff from men that were too old. Usually the cap, from I've read, the cap is set at 45 years old because the higher the age, the more chance of weird stuff happening. Conditions starting, all that stuff, resulting in non-healthy kids. Which, if you're already struggling to even conceive a child, then having health problems with a kid on top of that is not that great.
Strictly speaking, yes.
But it also created mass donors, which are bad as well, using one man's sperm way too many times, which increases the chance of inbreeding without them knowing.
Yeah. Didn't they put a limit on that? Because at some point there was somebody that had like more than 50 kids.
Yeah, they usually they have stuff against it. Yeah, but
yeah,
this
but
is just.
I think that was put in place when it was found out that one guy technically had over 50 kids.
Yeah, but the problem with that
I
is.
think I remember hearing that at some point in my life.
Yeah, the problem with that is because what can happen is you have a man and a woman, both different mom, but same donor dad. They don't know that. They start a family. They have a kid. Then it's found out that they're technically related. That are technically brother and sister. And then magically, Sweet Home Alabama starts playing. And it's something that, is frowned upon for good reason. It's not that bright of an idea to go have relationships in that sense with with family. Of course, you need a good relationship with your family if they allow for it.
You heard it here first, guys. If they allow it, it's fine.
No.
Yeah. Be sure to ask
No,
your
no.
aunt for consent next time you come over.
I hate to say this, but consent is always necessary, although no.
Oh, no, I didn't even mean it in like a sexual sense. Just you need consent to talk to them.
What?
It depends. Sometimes we go to like our grandma. My grandma is like just going there unannounced. Like if you know they're home and they don't have anything to do, and they're usually alone, then it's fine. Like that, then if you know they're gonna be okay with it. But if they're like busy or other stuff, then it might be smart to call beforehand to ask like, "Hey, are you home? Can we drop by for like a cup of coffee or a cup of tea?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And then you go there, or they say that they're busy, and you either call back later or you plan a date to drop by. But what I also want to say is, if you have family that is bad, then you shouldn't be afraid to cut ties. Is it easy? No. Will it be way better for your mental and or physical health? Yes. And you always have those people saying, but they're your family.
Well,
but I feel...
They are, though.
They are. But what they're implying with that is, but their family, you're supposed to always support, love, and trust them. But if they've shown that they can't be trusted, or that
Yeah, no, that should always be up to a certain extent.
yeah, like sure it's family, but you should support them, but it does end at some point, and if they go too far, then yeah. Also, I just remembered something. So I was out with a friend, you know, Sunday, doing dumb shit as per usual, and we had the idea of getting, those coloring stuff for children to put on under people's windshields if they've parked like an asshole. Like if a child can draw within the lines, you can do it too. And my friend
Maybe.
actually got like a little booklet of them, and in the underground parking that where we were parked, there were a couple of cars like actually just almost in like two spots, like almost perfectly. So they both got a tiny little thing, and I wonder how they like at some like I want to know the reaction, but at the same time, I'm not gonna hang around to get their reaction. Like because there will be consequences if they get mad and they find out that it's you and you're just standing like 3 cars further. But yeah,
If
parking.
you don't make it known that it was you, then it should be fine.
Yeah, that is true. But it is just. It is just. You don't park. You should. Of course. And all of us don't always park all that nice. But you should still do your best to park properly. Like straight in one spot. Not 2, not 4, not just 90 degrees rotated, just like 4 or 5 spots, but just in the correct orientation, straight within the lines. If you want to get fancy with it, you could potentially move over to more to one or the other side depending on the car next to you, so you both have an easier time getting in or out. If it's passenger side against passenger side, I'm more inclined to park closer to them so that I have more space to get in and out of my car. They still have space to get in and out of their car. Well, the passenger doesn't, but that's not a problem. The driver can get the car out of the parking spot where the door can be swung open as wide as you want for others to get in. Of course, it's a very European thing. I think in the US it might be a little bit more. Well, it could be cramped. With the tank-sized SUVs.
Yeah.
Like, I think a Sherman is this. A World War II Sherman tank is around the same size as modern SUVs. It is ridiculous. Especially if you drive a smaller car, then those big SUVs are actually somewhat of a threat. Like, you can't see over them. And have a fairly high seating position. But yeah. Does anybody else have other topics?
Not really, no.
Don't think so.
Well, then I guess there is only one thing left to say. We're not experts.
But we were here.